Welcome to the Shirley and Shirley Show. Today, my guest is Adam Manka. Adam is a Gen Zer and a good friend of mine. And that's kind of funny coming from a salty granny, but he does well. And I've known him for a while now. We've worked together doing doors and things like that. And Adam's fast at doing doors. He does a great job. He's also very involved and active in the political world. And I want Adam to tell a little bit about his story and tell a little bit about his background and what he's done, because I'm very proud of what Adam's accomplished so far. And he's only 20, which is pretty amazing. So welcome today, Adam.
Hello, it's good to be over here, Cheryl. The fact that I'm 20 is amazing in its own.
Yeah, it is. You've made it to 20. You just had a birthday in September. So happy birthday to Adam. Now, tell us a little bit about what you've done, your background so far, Adam, like what you're involved in, what you're doing.
How should I answer that, actually? Don't really ask you.
How should you answer it?
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, where do I start is the better question.
Oh, well, I'd say probably start with the RPW thing, because you were there for a while, the Republican Party of Wisconsin, if you want to.
Sorry,
No,
we'll edit
wait a
that
minute.
out.
Let's talk. Oh, that's all right. No, leave it in. It's good. It's good that you're asking. Yes, it is. It's good. It's okay. So honestly, start back with running for school board, why you did that. And where where you ran.
Actually, I know how to do this. We'll just redo that portion if that's okay.
Go ahead. Go
ahead and ask the question again.
Just start talking. I can fix everything.
We're great start. All right.
All right.
Yeah, so I've been, I'd say, involved politically for almost 4 years now, and I'd never kind of expect to be where I am now. I'm a member of the lacrosse school board, secretary for the lacrosse Republican Party. And over the summer, I had an internship. I was the development operations intern for Leadership Institute at Washington, D.C.
Which is very cool.
It is. I never expected to be in Washington, D.C. ever in my life. And I'm telling you, this is just by the grace of God here. It's just, I don't know, I looked at this too, and there's kind of just a lot, even just going beyond from my involvement in the political realm and just my own personal life kind of brought me over here.
I think Leadership Institute is pretty fascinating to me. And now I'm seeing other people that I know getting involved in working for Leadership Institute. Some of them are working for them. And you just went through the courses. You did that for how many months?
Did that for 3. Was an intern there, worked with them full time and everything for them as well. They actually offered to keep me there for a while, but I decided to stay here for the school board. Can't get rid of me that easily.
So when did you get on the school board in lacrosse?
So I got on in April of 2024.
So you graduated from high school when?
A month afterwards.
That's
so the
crazy.
crazy story that I like to tell people is when I graduated, you have the board members on the stage, you have the superintendent give you your diploma. I was given the choice if I wanted to graduate with my peers or on the school board, and I chose to be with my peers for the last time. And my friends were all snickering, they were laughing, they dared me to shake my own hands. You have to shake all the school board members' hands.
Oh, that's funny. Sure.
So when I walked up on the stage and shook everybody's hands, at the end, I just kind of looked at the crowd, gave myself a little handshake, walked off my own diploma. So
that's good. Yeah.
All school board members were able to shake my hands.
That's awesome. And now you're going to school, some of it online, right?
Most of it's online.
And it's community college kind of
Yes.
thing? Okay, which is perfect.
Thankfully, I'm very fortunate to say I'm getting paid to go to college. And honestly, some of these classes, you'd have to pay me for me to take.
Adams, we all have that feeling when we're in college, okay? There are classes that we all feel like that at. Of course, I don't know if I can remember that far back, but
Yeah.
I can to some degree.
But looking at how I got involved in politics, like this has been on my mind for quite some time after coming back from DC now. And it's like, well, I'm making a career out of my own self, or I'm trying to find a career. I want to provide a spot where I can provide something safely for my own family when that time comes. I'd say I really got involved in politics, not really involved, but I guess more aware of politics even earlier than that. Is unfortunately my parents were divorced, and just having gone through all the family court system, that's kind of really opened my eyes up. So getting this further here, it really feels like an act of God for why I'm here now.
Definitely. I believe that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's an act of God that you and I became friends. I mean, here I am, this old lady, and you're this young guy. And I just remember me meeting you, I think it was in Toma or somewhere, where we met and had to get some literature.
Yep.
And we did a couple pictures. And remember, we had to post every day. It was our job to post on X every day. That was required of us. We would take pictures wherever. So
I'm never a
posted.
social media guy.
You were really bad. Yeah, you were bad at it. I mean, I remember you getting a text at night saying, Adam, where's your post? Yes, I understand. And I'm glad you're not. Tell me what you think about social media. How is that? To me, it seems like a decay to our young people. I think there are uses for it, these influencers and things like that. We didn't have that. We had a phone. And like I told you earlier, when I was in school, I was thousands of miles away, and you can't just pick the phone up and call because it's call and collect back then. Your parents are like, no, I'm not. I don't need to talk to you right now. So what do you think about what that has done to the youth of today?
I always say that we are the generation that's kind of like the guinea pigs of a new era. Every single time there's a great new invention, whether it be the cars replacing the horses, social media. I've always tried to stay away from it. I joke the reason why I got Facebook was to spy my mother so she would post about me as much. I never really liked myself being out there. And now here I am posting my cool things I do from time to time. And it's like, well, that's just showing the highlights of it. There's a lot more to life than social media. A lot of my generation needs to touch grass. That's my biggest recommendation. I'd say social media doesn't exactly connect people in the way it was meant to be for. It makes our differences a lot more clear. And it takes away the face-to-face aspect of socializing.
Communication.
Yeah.
Right. Which
I'm
communication?
a server at Olive Garden right now while I'm doing my college work. And I've had a couple teenagers come in and they'll be on their phone the entire time. You ask them for a refill, they don't even register you're there. It's just all
That's so sad.
for 'em.
That's so sad. Communicate. Put your phones down. My family has a rule. We really do. I mean, my phone's on silent almost all the time. And you see, I've got a little closing thing on my phone. When I had to get a new phone, I just had to get a new phone. Remember, I was griping about that. Got the new phone. I still don't like it. I told my husband that one's going to be buried with me because I don't ever want another new phone. It's a hassle. Download and everything, upload, whatever.
You need the new best features.
Yes,
Really,
it's like
I just want something to call people with.
yeah, I just find it very fascinating that it's frustrating to do that. You can't just go somewhere and hand it to somebody and go, hey, do this.
Right.
I had to do it myself.
Right.
Poo. I mean, why have this? I wanted to throw it out the window and just get a landline. Go back to the old days.
For me, I have friends who are mad at me because I take forever to text them back. It's like, wow, I always try to find something to do. It's like, give me a call directly. I want to hear somebody's voice.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Let's do something in person.
And I'm really glad that's what you do, that you call me. I am, because it's much easier. I'll text. So I also wanted to know, how did COVID affect you? Because obviously that was 5 years ago. You had to be in middle school then, or were you in high school?
I had just entered into high school.
That had to be horrible.
So going back to my own parents, it's kind of how I got involved politically. I'd say is COVID kind of just made me just, I guess you could say, mad.
Yeah.
What happened, it was 8th grade middle school, midway through the school year in the state of Wisconsin, when, of course, the pandemic kind of shut everything down for 2 weeks. That lasted 2 years.
Yeah.
Longest 2 weeks of my life. During that, I kind of had a lot of family issues going on as well. And I unfortunately had to switch from living with my mother to living with my father. So I was basically at a completely new school district, going back to social media, going back to the Zoom calls where it's the blank square of death, no socializing, and I didn't have a phone back then, so I had no contact with my old friends during that time.
Yeah, that had to be very hard.
That's all something the school board we talk a lot about, is the impact of COVID, and it's really impacted a lot of people that take lesser seriously their education because they didn't take education seriously then either.
Well, if you think about it, online, did you have to check in every morning? What did you have to do? Was there?
I had to, yeah. There were classes now. Okay. Was I paying attention in my classes? No, absolutely not. I might or might not have been on the Xbox doing my own little thing at the same time too. But I remember that was like some of the biggest frustrations for me, of course. Once they did open back up, you had a mask. You'd always wear the mask below the nose, of course. And it's pathetic.
Sure.
We all know that.
Yeah. Well, we all know
children were not going to get infected, and take your own precautions of your own accord. Also, further than that, it's just the year following that was 2022. And that's actually when I really got involved with the school board. So in a way, I would say COVID kind of got me involved in it. I kind of led that. Everyone just didn't really take anything seriously.
Right.
There's also this movement, of course, the defunding police movement going on, all the social unrest kind of unraveled. And you get those a lot in those schools. That's very disappointing when you see
Well, you're in a bigger city. That's why you get that more so than. Yeah. I mean, they do. I think school communities, public school communities have that.
I was at a completely new school district without any friends at all, and no way to contact my old ones besides. Oh, no, I wasn't at that. I was at a new town completely.
Oh, my God.
Didn't have my driver's license or nothing. Freshman me in high school.
Man, that had to be terrible. Had to be hard. Yeah, that's a word for it.
The year afterwards, our school was trying to get rid of the school resource officers, believe it or not.
I can understand.
Because that was, of course, the social environment of the pandemic.
Sure.
Got you all frustrated and too. And we actually had, we in the school board, we talk a lot about behavior issues after the pandemic. We had 10 school threats in a single year. Either be a bullet casing found outside the school, or somebody was found with a IED, I think it was, outside the school. Like some kind of improvised explosive. And it's kind of funny asset since I remember this day. It was January 3rd, 2022, our first day back Christmas break. I was in Central High School, La Crosse, Wisconsin, and we had just entered into classes for the first day back from winter break. We actually had to evacuate because there was another school threat.
I can't even imagine that. You do all those drills, when they do fire drills and all that stuff.
They didn't follow any drill there.
No?
It was completely chaos.
Oh my gosh, that had to be scary.
But I remember coming back to school, I was thinking to myself in the pandemic, it's like, this is kind of stupid. Why am I just tolerating this right here? And I actually got a petition to bring back our school resource officer. I was so angry to the point from the pandemic and everything too.
That's where they started building that little wall with Adam. It
was the first main wall here. And what happened is that I was expecting, it seems to be a habit of mine, only getting like like a handful of signatures and then just for the die off, just do something. What happened is we had a third of the student body signing our petition.
Holy cow.
Just in one high school alone. And it was me and a group of my own friends here that I had met, like people who were just as dedicated to me. It was just four of us. We actually got the attention of the media and we went to the school board before I was elected, by the way. And we brought a petition up there and just bring back the school resource officers.
Make the school safer.
Yeah.
They say safe schools, and really and truly, it's not.
Right. Like COVID kind of took away a lot of that safety there because a lot of people forgot what it was like to be punched in the nose, I could say.
Yeah, I suppose they did. A school resource officer is very helpful because he opens up communication with everyone.
Yeah.
They can come to him if they need to or they want to, tell him what's going on so he can fix it before something bad happens.
So I guess COVID was the first thing in which I got involved actually politically in a way.
Interesting. Yeah, by doing a petition or whatever, even if you were even if you were a sophomore, this was
year afterwards, first full year in lacrosse.
Well, now I can see where it came from. And you have a drive, that's for sure. We've talked about that many times. We do. So we talked about COVID. What do you think, like today's world, that Gen Z is being involved?
Gen Z, I think the trends of Gen Z is the $1 million question in today's world right now. We're certainly, I'd say, a lot different from our previous generations. And I kind of say that's not a bad thing that our generation is different from the conservatism of yesterday or the Tea Party of the 2010s, because our needs are very different. Going back to social media, how it completely changed the way how we interact with each other as well, or just we're a globalized world, is that we kind of lost sense of what it's like to be an American. And I think we, as conservatives, kind of get stuck in this belief that we are trying to stop the flow of progress and to conserve what we have right here. You know, think of it, just the arrow aimed towards the future. We're just trying to slow it down as much as possible. The left is just trying to drag down as much as possible. I think that's kind of the conundrum that the older generation of conservatism kind of fell under, is that we're just trying to delay the inevitable loss here. And really, I think what Gen Z is saying that, no, we're not trying to stop the flow of progress. We're just trying to aim the arrow our way to our means under the same principles of which old generals of a bygone era, I mean,
like me.
Well,
that's okay.
I'm sorry to say we didn't get to experience the revival that Ronald Reagan brought to, or we didn't get to see Eisenhower or World War II. Our needs are very much different from the needs of the past, and I think that's the same for every generation. Every generation has their story.
I was going to say absolutely, because mine too. Like, well, I kind of went through the same type of thing too at my age, when I was your age. That we felt
and
like
Ronald Reagan himself said this too: is that freedom is always one generation away from being lost.
Absolutely,
it is our own responsibility to keep it and to maintain our American freedom as much as we can to be able to bring it off to the next generation. I talk about what's the number one need of Gen Z. You mentioned Charlie Kirk. One of the biggest things he always said was, I'd say, largely about community. You want the conservative movement is not just a movement of, as the left would say, oh, we're just trying to stop progress. We're trying to stop the flow. We just, the left, they loves to say we hate people, and then they, shoot up our activists. A couple questions about to them I would point to. Really, I think the root of Gen Z conservatism goes down to the most simple aspects of political life. And that is, it's not just political, it's just personal. Everyone wants a family to call their own. They want to have a place in the community that they're building. And they want to have the simple things that of which it's hard to maintain. My generation has been told by the left, go to college, do this all for yourself, leave your parents. If you're seeing someone, it should only be for your own instant gratification and not exactly built towards marriage. It's constantly about you in a liberal society. You can do whatever you want. A kumbaya, we're all happy. And what we're seeing here is that that's not the case.
No.
In social media, we talk about that. We feel that quite a lot. It's like you're seeing a lot of Gen Z go back to church for the first time that our own generations have not had to. Charlie Kirk and his message was very similar to that. I think one of the biggest reasons why he kind of got in the hearts of Gen Z, even someone like me who barely listened to him, and I was never really a part of Turning Point, is because he talked about that simplicity of life. His biggest message was to make a skill for yourself, to build something in your community, have the courage to defend your faith, love the people around you so much so that you can take someone else and build a family off of and just help build the world. It's not just about the selfishness of, it's all about you, is that Gen Z conservatism is keeping the old principles of the past, helping preserve them in our new world, I'd say.
Well, that's pretty thorough, I think. That's good. Profound. I mean, you're digging deep, and that's good. And you're young. And I admire the fact that you'll sit down and just talk to somebody who is a boomer kind of thing. That I kind of reach across, that. I'll reach across anywhere when it comes to generation of whatever. This is how we learn from each other and we grow. We all grow together then. Being involved in the political world is not an easy thing, as we both know very well. And then what we witnessed with what happened to Charlie Kirk was a horrifying. My thoughts went to being a mom, thinking of his family, his wife, his children. How horrifying. I hope that the torch is picked up. Erica Kirk is going to be a very strong person for the Gen Z. That movie movement, and I'm grateful for that. I hope that it does open people's eyes, but I don't want there to be violence. I mean, I grew up in an age where there was a lot of violence and a lot of people that were assassinated. It's a horrible term, and we really don't want to have that in the political world. We live in Wisconsin, so we lost a huge Supreme Court race, and it was very traumatizing to some people. But, I've worked in this for a long time, and I've seen it where that kind of thing happens, where we got a big win. And then all of a sudden, everybody's like, woo, we got the president in there. We did our job. We're done. Sit back. Take it easy for a while. We don't have to do this, but you really do. And in your own state, you really have to pay attention because this has a lot to do with what policies get through in our state now. And a lot of people don't understand that. I know you do understand that. So how do we get that across to the 600,000 people that didn't come out and vote in April? And what gets me about voting in April, like, school board, for instance, your taxes, community, your county, your state, your town, your city, whatever, is all on that. They call it nonpartisan. Unfortunately, we both know that not much is nonpartisan anymore. Maybe to some people, but people that are somewhat aware, it's really not. And people draw the line in the sand on some things. Think like school referendums. That's one of them too. I just get very frustrated with that. Right now they're getting like $18,532 per student. They're still suffering from declining enrollment.
Exactly.
We have issues there. So go ahead, Mr. School Board member, as well. And you're not talking here. All right. I just want to make this very clear. He is not speaking as a school board member now. He is speaking as Adam Manka, just talking to me on a podcast.
That's correct. I can give my experience as a board member.
Absolutely. Yes.
First off, you're absolutely right, though. People need to be more in tune with their own local elections. And that's something I think the conservative movement has lost for used to be the high propensity ones who'd vote there.
Mm-hmm.
Your local races
are the most important
for your community. They set the tone. They're your neighbors there. School board. And the reason why I'd say my passion at the school, mind you, I kind of joked about this here. I want to tell a little bit of the story of how I ran for school board first, and then we'll go on and answer that. Okay. After the complete SRO thing, I actually saw a referendum in my own school board where our superintendent lied about how much it would cost. Because of that, it was the only referendum in our local area, in our surrounding area, and basically our region that failed by a landslide because we lost the public trust of the school. Or I shouldn't say we, because I wasn't a board member at that time. But as a junior in high school, I was already looking at that like very frustrated by this. There is declining enrollment. It's a national trend. A lot of that is because of decreased birth rate. And that's something which our culture, again, it's the biggest reason why I got involved in the conservative movement is all about family law. It was also because our schools still were not safe. And as I said, they don't have merit involved with them. And I will go into a whole entire rant about this one here in my own school board. So I'm very frustrated. I don't see the merit of what we do here. I ran my campaign on an anti-drug campaign. I kind of had my own report and everything too, is that I kind of noticed there were a lot of drugs being smuggled into the schools that no one wanted to take any issue with. That was the biggest reason why I ran, is once again, on that safety line of issue. If you want to go to school, safe. And a lot of these people I talked to that had left the school district, went to the private schools, was because of issues like that, because of the cultural issues. You're either forced politics down your throat, or you don't have a place to even just do math in a safe area. It's not just declining enrollment because of the birth rates. It is because we are losing trust in our own public schools. And it's good reason too. And that's why your school boards are very important, because you're the ones who decide what's supposed to go on, or you're supposed to, I should say. Mine doesn't. We have what's called coherence-based governance. Our basic thing is we sit down and the administration decide, well, here's the things we want you to grade us on. Tell us we're doing a good job or not. And that's pathetic. You don't take initiative at all of our school. Very happy to say, even with me being on the school board, I was able to help kind of advocate kind of more so just hard to ignore the fact that you have a drug problem when it's right there in front of you. And here's the numbers for it too, is we got vape detectors in almost all the bathrooms in our high school, and it's caused a big increase of security where our students used to not go to the bathroom. I actually talked to a student I was running for the school board who would go to festival across the schoolyard just to use the bathroom and head back during the lunch break.
Because they wanted to use their vape?
Nope, because they wanted to be away from it.
Oh, they wanted to be away? Oh my gosh.
Be away from all that environment.
Holy cow.
There's two methods of education, two theories of education. One of them is the Socratic, to make yourself a better citizen of the public. The other one is kind of more so where you get the kindergarten, the German version, the German model. Kindergarten is German for children garden, or garden of children. You're supposed to grow them to make them become better workers for your nation there. What we're saying is that education is really helping either of that. You have literacy rates are decreasing. You have chronic absenteeism across the entire state on the rise. And chronic absenteeism is defined as being gone or away from 2 school days in a school year.
How many?
10. Yeah. And there's a science behind it. If you miss anywhere past that, your point of education starts to decrease, your return on investment. One of my biggest fights on the school board is what's called standard-based grading, where instead of going in A, B, C, D, the traditional one is instead graded off of, based off this rating here, this writing here, you got a 4, 3, 2, or a 1. What does it mean? We don't know, but we're going to give you a grade what we feel you deserve afterwards.
Yeah, feelings.
And by the way, we're not going to grade you for your homework. So what you found is that no one's doing homework. no one's learning anything. You're just there to pass, get a diploma. And our students are high achieving students, especially when ones come up to us and complain about that. And our school board base says, no, it's equitable for this year too. They don't want your
You're bringing me down, Adam. You're bringing me down. I'm like, what?
And
this is crazy.
Actually, at our last board meeting, this was a huge issue that I really much want to bring. Actually, it wasn't our last one before that, but we also had one beforehand. The fact that based off of coherence-based governance, we'd have our administration come up to there and say, well, based off of this, we meet all the requirements, so we passed. We've had literal administrations come in and say, well, we missed this one here, but this doesn't matter because it's the only one we missed. So we get passing grades, passing marks. It's like, I'm thinking to myself, if I were a parent bringing my child to the school and I see this, the administration saying, hey, we're failing here, but it's only one aspect or it's only like one or two things. Right. What does it matter at the end of time? What does it matter at the end of all this year? Give us an A because we're doing our jobs here. And we can't exactly do our jobs as school member and say, this is what we want you to do. Well, it's all about the administration. It's not about the parents. I would not want to send my children there.
So me neither. We both know that DPI has decreased the standards for like meeting expectations and all for schools. And when I see that, and most people out here don't know that, when their child gets a 64 now, that could be you met expectation, but it's really not.
And that's going back to Charlie Kirk. Yeah. I did answer your question here. I can get into this grant. I can go further. I'm trying to keep myself restrained. Is that he came up to these campuses and opened up not only freedom of speech again. I think he was a hero for education. We should honor him as such. I wrote an op-ed about this, a post in the Cross Tribune that came out last week. And he advocated for younger generations to take ownership of their education because that's kind of the American spirit, is that we are the entrepreneurs. We take, we do, we learn by doing. And that's kind of scientifically proven here too, is my big theory of education is that for at least for kindergartners or all those younger children, is that you want to stimulate all five senses because they're developing not just with what they know, but as human beings.
Have you thought about becoming a teacher?
I thought about it. I teach at my church. That's a challenge in itself, but I love the challenge.
Is, but that's good. I think you would make a very good teacher. As you're sitting here talking to me, I'm seeing that.
It's funny because I was also part of Civil Air Patrol when I was younger in high school.
Yeah, I remember you told me.
I was a cadet officer. I was a flight sergeant and a flight commander. And basically, Civil Air Patrol emulates the military chain of command. I wasn't able to get into the military due to health issues. I did pass MEPS, and I kind of gave up on it. It was a big decision I had to make. It's just I'm not doing the military. It was very fun. I kind of learned how fun it is to teach because you actually learn more when you're teaching the subject.
You do. Absolutely.
And I had to teach younger cadets how to do drill, and that's very fun.
Sounds like it would be fun. Maybe you should do some soul searching on that. Maybe that's what you're led to do, and you don't really even realize it.
Maybe so.
Interesting how a podcast can just open up your mind. Huh?
Yours open.
We're
just talking.
Just talking, right. Well, I'm very proud of what you've accomplished so far, especially with you have a lot of mountains to climb. And sometimes climbing those mountains are tough, and I know that because I did. I climbed a lot of mountains too. Sometimes when you're climbing the mountain, you're in the middle of it. Your hands are like clawing at the dirt, trying to get up or trying to, slipping off the rock your foot is, and you're just going, why am I doing this? There's always a reason, and it's always something that's pretty important in life, and the journey alone is pretty fascinating. And I think like Charlie Kirk accomplished a whole lot in 31 years, a lot more than what a lot of people do in a whole lifetime. What you guys have done, like the vigil you held, was very important. And it was important for all those kids when you told me, how many showed up, which was pretty amazing that Adam threw something together and worked hard. He thought just a handful of kids were going to come and like 500 people showed up. And that's pretty amazing for something like that. It really is. But that tells you the yearning people have and the respect that people had and still have. I mean, I hear lots of people talk about Charlie Kirk. I don't think he's going to go away anytime soon. The people who were like against him or whatever for free speech, even the fascinating thing about it all is he made more of an impact in 31 years than many people. I'll never forget where I was or anything like that. It's one of those things, one of those moments in life where you just remember. But that was a tragic time for young people. Just terrible, a tragic thing. Like it was like you guys' 9/11 because you guys were either not born or like my son. My son is 30 and it was his 9/11. And shocking that you could take someone's life so cruelly, not really care in front of millions and millions of people and do that with hate and anger. And that's the ones that Charlie was really working to help. And being a good Christian too, and a good father and a good husband. People will remember that. They get on their social media behind something and they say stuff that they would never say to somebody's face, like you and I sitting here talking. They just don't do that.
Right.
That's one of the things we have to do is open up communication. Sometimes it's very hard to talk to somebody on the other side. I do it a lot. I do it calmly as I can. It can get to where you get to a point where you just have to say, you know what, we're going to have to agree to disagree, and I'm just going to move move on. And I hope you have a great day. And that's it. But I'm really glad that your age group is working hard towards what the goal is in being an American citizen, even in politics, and also a home, a family, a life. You've talked to me many times, and you want something different than what you grew up with. Accomplish that, but it takes a long time, and it also takes chutzpah. You got a lot of that. And also you got a lot of will. You have a good mind you got a good head on your shoulders, and you have a good direction. I mean, you have people in your life that you focus on that are really good. I mean, I like that you talk about your grandma the way you do.
Be my grandparents. Like you said, I have reason why I'd say why I became so politically minded, even before all of that, is just dealing with my parents' divorce. And fortunately, like even dealing with the domestic issues in my own life, it's, biggest important thing for me is family. Good. I love visiting my grandmother all the time and just, be there. And
I'm sure she loves that too.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure she does.
I'm the most sane one. That should not be the case.
Oh,
20-year-old school board member should not be the most sane one of your family.
Well, I don't know. I think it's good. You need something to be proud of.
Yeah.
Right? That you're considered the most sane one in your family.
But I live by the model of faith, family, freedom in that order, where I think at least just looking inside your own heart, and so many people it's different. But for me, I'll look at my faith first when I'm doing my service, when I'm doing things, is that am I serving the will of God right now? And that's a hard answer.
It is a hard answer. I agree.
It is a sinful world. I remember I first went to church. There's actually a girl who brought me there, but we'll go that part. She was not for me.
Yeah,
she did a couple things. She's forgiven, but like I'm glad she's not in my life right now. But I first went to church actually when I was running for the school board. And the week before I announced, my dad tried to take his own life. That was something which it was Thanksgiving, November 23rd. I can remember all the details of that night. And I remember just having a feeling I need to go home. It was out of nowhere at Thanksgiving. I came there. I was 5 minutes away from losing him completely.
Wow.
And he has a lot of stuff that he's kind of done, a lot of mistakes he's done in his own life. And again,
Who hasn't?
That is true. My parents got divorced age of 5 and always had some kind of issue, living constantly with a lawyer constantly on your knees, deciding to tell you how your parents are going to do. I think that's very disastrous for our country since the 70s. And Ronald Reagan himself said this was his biggest mistake, was opening up no-fault divorce. I mean, you want a political order that will encourage, I guess, younger people, just people in general, to get married, and more importantly, to stay married, know what they're getting into.
Well,
but
not easy. Marriage
it's
is not easy.
Family court is, I have a sister who's going through this right now, and I'm trying to protect her as much as I can, but it's just family court. It does not like families at all.
It's amazing.
That's another point. Going back to faith, when I ran for the school board, just simply for all this stuff going on there, I actually lost my home for 3 to 4 months. I was living between friends my second half of my campaign, basically. It wasn't until I actually got my job to RPW that I really got myself on my feet again.
I hope people are really listening to this, because honestly, I'm sitting here talking to a 20-year-old who has dealt with issues that most people never.
I was hoping to give my testimony. I don't say a lot of this right here. It's based with all that count. I remember knocking on doors in December in a snowstorm and coming home just to see, my dad struggling through all of his life. And that's for him to say. I'm not going to tell what he was going through. I came to the faith and finally accepted Christ as my Savior. I'm a proud Baptist. March 14th of 2024 is when he was saved. It's just, you just have that purpose in you. It really helped a lot for that. At least for me, it's giving me the purpose and the meaning I need to continue. Even beyond that, it's just amazing. Because I remember when I got off the phone call, like I based this out about running for school board sometime. Just really, again, when I ran for school board, I wasn't expecting to win. You guys are so wrong. I want to tell you guys one last time before I leave.
Yeah.
Well, joke's on me. I can't. But when I got off the phone call and I was like, we'll support you for that. Like, run for school board. You have our approval base. I kind of asked that kind of part. Okay, I'm kind of thinking about this. Should I do this? And I had my report all written up and everything too. I did my homework. Why not? I was like, okay. That was September 25th of 2023. I remember hanging up home and immediately seeing a shooting star. And I thought to myself, that's a good omen.
That's a sign.
And it wasn't a good omen. I had a lot of tribulation running for the school board, basically being a homeless student at the end of this, having to deal with kind of my own family starting to fall apart. I remember like when I got sworn in, I still didn't really have a stable home. It wasn't until May that I got on my feet again and got myself moving. Just kind of questioning it all. Like I started to come back after that. It's like, am I make the right choice? And literally went to church that night and I drove back and it's all dark, of course, still, and Sunday night service. And what do you know? Another shooting star. Beautiful green shooting star.
Oh, so those are your signs.
Yeah. We move on to family. Me personally, I'm involved with politics, but the most important thing about my life is family. I want to be able to provide for my family. That is a deep calling that I've felt in my life. I want to be able to kind of rectify the mistakes of, I guess, my own parents. And I love my parents. I'm very proud of what my dad has done. He's accepted Christ as a savior savior, is not starting to go to church himself now. He has a lot to grow with. I mean, for my own dad, I'm very proud of the things he's done right now. And I hope he continues with this because he has a lot of hard things going on in his life, trying to fix his own mistakes. He's taking that responsibility. And so everyone needs to do.
Allow him to be on his journey.
Right.
At least he's on the journey.
And family thing I want to do with my life is after the single board, after doing this, is I want to get involved trying to reform our family court system. And it's a cultural thing. It's not a legal thing, but we legally need to encourage culture to actually be able to support our families, whether it be economically or socially or just any way we can. One day I expect to be a father myself, and I want to make sure to give them the best future I can. And I hope our nation, and I hope Gen Z, the spirit of Gen Z, kind of brings that out. And then, of course, faith, family, the last one, freedom. In that order, I believe once you have taken up, kind of like how Charlie Kirk said, you build yourself a skill for your community, you stay with your family, you get married, you have children yourself, and you stay dedicated to that. I think that is true freedom. Freedom is not what the left has said, just running around doing whatever we want, doing a lot of degenerate stuff all the time. I think there's more freedom in accepting responsibility because it's reward. You're free and you're living the good life and you're choosing a good life. Which is why I say faith, family, freedom in that order, is because freedom is not doing whatever we want. We have a biblical freedom and we have a moral freedom, and freedom is not easy to keep. Nope. So every time I think my own civil service or what I'm doing here, and like I've had hard moments in my own life. I'm a college student still, by the way. Yeah, I know. This semester's kicking me, but I think myself kind of how to live that in that order too. And that's just for me, it reminds me why I'm involved where I am now. Because I should not be where I am right now, but I am. Very true. So why not live out that way? Percent. So I'm sure people can see this right here. I have a ring where I put on my pinky finger. Mm-hmm. It is just a simple $5 fidget ring. It's a silver with like a bronze chain on it. And I think that too is, when I rose my hand and took that oath of office in the school board, I chained myself to something. I took away my freedom. In a way, I feel like I'm more free. Right. I get that. I used to wear this ring only on school board meetings to remember kind of the struggles I kind of went through. I want to be here during that time of tribulation, that 6-month period. But now I kind of wear it every day. I live by that oath every single day. I hope that there's other young men and young women out there that feel the same way, that are wanting to fight for that feel that way, that maybe you don't even know about, that admire you because of what you did. I hope so. I found so a lot of younger people like that too. And we're also different. That's what I'm kind of hoping where Gen Z conservatism leads is just to simple things of life, away from all the extravagance or away from all of this. Well, like you said, go walk in the grass for a while. Yeah, go touch grass. Go for a walk. We went for a walk before we started this because just to get your mind clear. So for any young men out there, put your phone down, go find a job. It's easier said than done in today's economy, but go out and try it. Say hi to that cute girl at the coffee shop. I'm one to talk. I barely do, but sometimes I do. Yes. Working on it. It takes time. The right one's going to come along someday and you're going to know it. Go to church, most importantly. Oh, there you go. See, that's another thing Charlie Kirk would say. Yeah, it's weird. I didn't know how much similarities my views I had of him until after he passed. It's all of that. It's like he really lives my own mission, I'd say. Yeah. Well, and maybe that's what was his gift. And I think he's left a lot of us a gift, honestly. Yeah, I believe so. You just have to accept it. Which is very difficult. Kind of like salvation for Christ. You just have to accept it there. Well, and that's difficult for many people. Everyone's on their own journey. Sometimes that journey can be blocked by all kinds of mountains that get in the way. And we have to try to climb those mountains. And sometimes people do it at their own leisure. And other times people can climb the mountain pretty quick. Maybe one mountain might pass you. You're like, oh, I got past that mountain quick and easy. But the next one might slow you down a little bit further and say, geez, like the last 2 weeks when you told me how it's been rough. Right. Sometimes it's like that. But sometimes that helps us on our journey too. Right. Your mind's scrambled. You're not thinking right. And then the next thing you know, wow, it became so clear. Like sitting here talking and I saw your eyes when I said, maybe you should become a teacher. Your eyes changed immediately, whether you noticed or not, but I did. I love to teach at church, love to continue that. My dedication, my calling is really, again, trying to fix the family court system and trying to fix our own court. Well, then do that. Then do that. I think you have the ability to do it. I really just wanted to talk to Adam today. We're getting on about 47 minutes here, so we probably should wrap it up a little bit. I want people to listen and be happy. So let's talk about something that's fun that you do, Adam. What's something that's fun that you do? Besides working? Yes. I'm trying to work on that. Yeah. I know. I need to get you out to do something. I love to write. Okay. Writing is just one of those things that just kind of came natural to me. On my third novel. Really? My first one was 297 pages. Not exactly the greatest piece of art, but the second one was a lot better and a lot longer. 481 pages. Well, that's cool. That might be something. I also write poetry. Yeah. Don't have me read them out here. You're not getting that, but tell a story.
Yeah, it is.
We
Right.
all live our own stories.
Yeah.
I'm going my own testimony. It's a great story
Mhm.
about faith, I would say. And looking back on it, it's like, holy cow, I'm not supposed to be here, but I am, as I
Yeah.
said.
Right.
Each and every one of us has a story to write
Mhm.
where we have God guiding us wherever he needs us to be, but we are the ones who are deciding if we accept his choice or not. Or
Yeah.
there's
I
a
know.
better way to word that.
Well,
But
and remember, no, I think that's a perfect way to word it. It's
Right.
your words, and then it's your journey.
Gen Z has a unique story to write off for conservatism that no other generation perhaps can do.
Maybe.
Just because every single generation is different based off of the challenges they're raised in and based off of the gifts they have and the changes for it. Social media does not need to be the calling for
Right.
Gen Z or all of the degeneracy we find online.
I want us to fight hard to get out of this darkness that we're in right
Exactly.
now, is what I want. And some of that darkness is social media. Obviously, being able to sit behind a microphone and have headphones on. And part of it too is just talking to people, having communication and opening it up to other people at any age. Doesn't matter. And I try to do that as much as I possibly can. I'm just glad that you and I are friends
I'm
and that
glad
we've
too.
stayed friends.
You have kept me stable, not
Good.
just stable, but sane for quite a while.
That's good. I think that's good.
Also, for younger people, seek wise counsel. I think of Proverbs
Mentors.
1:5,
Yeah.
where a wise man will seek unto counsel of others.
Very good.
And it's great to have that counsel of people who have unique experiences too.
Especially when they do care about you too.
I should honestly start a podcast, advice from young people.
Yes,
because
you
I
should.
know a lot.
Truly, you should. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not hard to do. Obviously, you see that I'm doing it. So if I could do it, I know you could do it. So I'm glad that you stopped today and decided to just talk about everything. Sometimes getting it out helps a whole lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. Cleanse your soul, dude. Cleanse your soul. It's good. You and I are going to stay friends for a long time. Hopefully, I'll be around till I'm, who knows? God has a plan for all of us. I want you to like calm down. Got a long time. I tell Adam this a lot. Calm down. It's going to be okay.
Gotta get it done now.
I love it when Adam gets all excited because he does.
Move.
He'll call me on the phone. He's like, you gotta listen to this. I'm upset about it.
Well, not that. There's always good news too.
Yeah, there is. Oh, I agree. There always is. Yes. And we always have a great conversation. I enjoy that very much. So I'm glad that we still do that.
Way to call me out here.
What? It's not calling you out. I'm just letting them know that, hey, when you're 20, that you got to do that. You got to have somebody that you can just like release to, don't you think?
Yeah.
Somebody to vent to.
Yeah.
And then feel better after
But you got to do
vented.
something too.
Yes, of course. Yeah. But you're not lazy. Okay. That's one thing you are not. I'm going to tell you that right now. Adam is not lazy. So I give you a lot lazy. No, you're not. Thank you so much, Adam Manka, for coming on and chatting with me on the Shirley and Shirley Show. This podcast you can find just about anywhere. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on about every podcast hosting site there is. Thank you so much for your time. And Adam, come and see me again. We'll talk again in a couple of months and see where you're at. All right.
Thank you very much. Very much. Best of luck for everyone.
All right. Thanks for listening. Have a good day.